Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is an update for the Project Level Up Project Pan. And I completed round one, but this is my second round. So I completed level one for the second time. This was started by Sophie Alexandra, who I will link in the description box. And I really like this project to rotate through my eyeshadow palettes. So let's get into it. So I completed level one. And this is my second round of doing this project. I did it last year as well. And I have changed up how I do this a little bit. So when Sophie created this project, it was meant to try to hit pan on eyeshadows and also use the whole palette. And so I don't wear eyeshadow every day. I don't wear makeup every day. And I'm not trying to pan eyeshadows anymore. I used to many years ago, but not anymore. And so right now what I'm doing with this project, I'm going to change it again. Basically what I'm going to do is for level one, I just had to use every palette 10 times, and it didn't matter which eyeshadows. And I didn't have to use every eyeshadow. Initially, that is what I was going to do, but I have been doing such minimal eyeshadow looks that I didn't want to feel forced to wear a colorful shade if I didn't feel like it. So basically, these were the 4 palettes in level one, and I used every palette 10 times. And I would say, depends on the palette. If I used most of the shades, I did not use all of the shades in any of the palettes, but that's okay. And then for level 2, I'm going to just say that I have to use every palette 20 times. And again, I don't have to use every shade. So whatever. That's just what I'm doing. I'm doing this just to rotate through my palettes. So this one here is kind of a mashup of some different single eyeshadows. These, I want to say, are from JD Glow. These are Cleona. This is an Anastasia. Those are Inglot shadows. These are all really old. I've had these for many years. And I'll go ahead and tell you that out of this palette, I did use, let's see, I used this one from Cleona as inner corner highlight. I also used this one, which is Anastasia Pink Champagne. And I did actually use pretty much all of the Inglot shadows. I think I even used a little bit of the purple on the lower lash line one day. So I used this palette 10 times. Like I said, I did not use every shade, but that is okay. I don't want to force myself to use things I don't want to use. Makeup is supposed to be fun, and this is just a way for me to rotate through my palettes, but my go-to eyeshadow look is something like this nowadays, where I just like mix up a bunch of neutrals on the lid and the crease, don't even try to separate it out, and then an inner corner highlight if I'm feeling fancy. All right, then I have this palette, which is mostly, no, it's not, I was gonna say Makeup Geek. It's mostly Coastal Scents single shadows, and then some from Sydney Grace. Like these here are Sydney Grace, and those right there are Sydney Grace. And this one, I mean, I used pretty much all of the mattes, I would say. And then I've used a couple of the shimmers. I think I used this one once. This is a MAC eyeshadow, actually. I want to say it's Shroom. And that one I like for the inner corner. So this one, I think I used this palette actually more than 10 times. And yeah, this is a good neutrals palette. These are really old. I've had these for a long time, but they still work. I'm going to keep them. And I'm glad that I reached for my single shadows because I don't normally do that. So that's why I put them in the project. Okay, then we have this one, which this one actually is Makeup Geek. And these are mostly Makeup Geek shadows. These here, I think just these 3 are left from the Menagerie Cosmetics Feral palette. Actually, it might not even be this one. This one I think is Makeup Geek. I just have these 2 left. I just wasn't using them, so I decluttered. These are old Makeup Geek single shadows. And then the newer ones, they're not even new anymore. These are discontinued now, but they're newer than when they were in the circle pans, the square pans. And I would say out of this palette, I used this kind of whitish shade once. I used mostly like these mattes here and then these mattes here. But hey, I used them, which is what matters, which is why I'm doing this. So again, I used every palette at least 10 times. And then the last one is the Potted Single Shadows. that are from ColourPop palettes. These are also really, really old. And then I have a few random single shadows in here. This one's from Davina, and these two are, I don't know. Oh, these are from the Shop Miss A website, AOA Studio. So yeah, these three are single shadows, and then the rest are depotted ColourPop palettes. This was Dream Street, Zodiac, the one with the yellow. What was that one called? I don't remember. These are really, really old, but I still like them. And again, I mostly used the mattes. I did use this one as an inner corner highlight a couple of times, but I don't really even do shimmers on the lid much anymore. But again, this is why I'm on a no buy, and I'm definitely not buying eyeshadow palettes. So I'm happy with level 1. I used all of these palettes at least 10 times. I did not use every shade, but that is okay. So let me show you the palettes that I picked for level 2. And my goal for this is to use every palette 20 times. And there's no requirement on which eyeshadows or anything. Doesn't matter. This time I did pick 5 palettes though. And I picked a wide variety of brands. So unlike here, where it was actually a wide variety of brands, but they were all single shadows and depotted stuff, this time I did not pick magnetic palettes. So first we have Going Coconuts from ColourPop, beautiful neutral. And this, I don't think I've used this particular palette. Now, I have used this palette technically many times because I used to have this palette, and then I gave it to my sister at one point, and then I got another one in PR from ColourPop. So it worked out because I actually really do love this palette. It is beautiful, but I have not yet used this one that I've gotten in PR. So I thought, perfect. Then we've got a really old one here, the Lorac Pro. This is a palette that I actually do have pan on from quite a while ago, right there, as you can see that. So I don't know, I haven't used this one in a while, but it's a classic, and I do not want to get rid of this. Okay, and then I picked a Sydney Grace palette. This is from the Temptalia collection. This is, I'm going to keep saying this is all old because yeah, all my makeup, particularly eyeshadows, are not new because I've been on a makeup no buy last year and this year. So this is just what I have. But anyway, this one is the Radiant Reflection Light. And now this one, I'll tell you, I am highly doubting that I would use the green and the purples right now and the blue. It's just, I haven't wanted to do colorful eye looks. However, I love this taupey part of the palette, so I do want to use that. And then we have Urban Decay Original Naked Palette. This was one of my few purchases last year when it was re-released. And this is obviously right up my alley nowadays. Very, very simple, neutral. And I'm excited to use it because I haven't used it. I've probably used it a couple times this year, but oh, I just dropped it on the floor. Let's hope it didn't break. This is a sturdy palette. It's good. I'm always dropping stuff. Anyway, then we have the Sigma New Mod. So this one is taupey mauves, and I actually do have pan on this one too. As you can see, it's like the cream shades that I have pan on. But lately I've stopped pulling palettes out for this step. I like to set my eyeshadow primer with a bit of like a cream colored shade, but nowadays I just use my face powder. It doesn't matter. This is the Sigma New Mod, and so yeah, mauvey, beautiful. I haven't used this one in a while. All right, so I completed level 1, and now I'm going to level 2. So I want to use every palette 20 times. Again, there's no requirement on which eyeshadows. So we've got Going Coconuts, Lorac Pro Original, Sigma New Mod, Urban Decay Naked, and the Radiant Reflection Light from Sydney Grace. That's what I'm going to be working on. So I am still into this project. I am. It just takes me a while because, like I said, I don't wear makeup every day. But anyway, as I mentioned, this was started by Sophie Alexandra, who I will link in the description box. And if you're not subscribed, you should if you like project panning and no buy content. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.